A good evening to you all, and thank you for joining us here on Rwanda Television News Tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive Thursday. Now here's a sneak peek of our edition. Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva has urged the youth who took part in the 15th cohort of Itorero in Ndangamirwa to be a solid foundation for Rwanda's future vision. Some of the soldiers who once served in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Rwanda say that returning to the country 31 years after the genocide against the Tutsi was halted is a way to honor the victims and reflect on the tragic events they witnessed in 1994. On the international scale, Sudan was plunged into a civil war in April 2023 after a vicious power struggle erupted between the army and its former ally, the Rapid Support Forces, creating one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Once again, we're glad to have your company tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali, and I bringing you tonight's edition is Martina Abera. Kicking things off with the Prime Minister, Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva, who has urged the youth who took part in the 15th cohort of Itorero in Ndangamirwa to be a solid foundation for Rwanda's future vision. He reiterated this during the official closing of the 15th Itorero in Ndangamirwa at the Nhumba National Ubutori Development Center in Burera district. We have more coming from Adam Squizera.
This cohort brought together 443 young men and women who received lessons covering Rwanda's history, civic education, and basic military skills. The civic program aims to instill cultural values, resilience, patriotism, and commitment to Rwanda's long-term vision. The graduates also pledged to contribute to the country's development and actively participate in the government programs for the benefit of the citizens. Minister of National Unity and Civic Engagement, Dr. Jean Damascene Bizimana, noted that the program helped the youth better understand their role in building the nation, giving them the responsibility to put this into action. Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva urged the graduates to preserve and strengthen the goals and values instilled in them, working alongside members of the previous Itorero cohorts to protect Rwanda's history from distortion and to promote the truth. He also asked them to focus on activities that contribute to Rwanda's progress, guided by the pillars of the economic growth, improved living standards, and good governance, all of which depend on national security and collective willpower. Among the participants were 105 Rwandans living abroad, 103 students from international schools in Rwanda, and outstanding youth representatives from all 30 districts. Adam Squizera reporting for RTV News in Momba, Burera district.
This afternoon as well, Prime Minister Dr. Justin visited the Musanze Industrial Park located in Chimonyi sector to assess the operations of existing industries, the challenges they face, and possible solutions to enhance productivity. The visit began at Gorilla Textile, a garment factory that produces clothing such as denim jeans. The factory covers 5.5 hectares, whereas the initial investment was $5 million, which has since increased to $8 million, with plans to reach $10 million following an upcoming expansion. He then proceeded the visit, which is under construction within the park, A1 Iron and Steel Limited. It will be the first company in Rwanda and third company in East Africa to produce through iron or integrated process and produce hot rolled narrow gauze strip and hot rolled 5.5 millimeters wire rods. The project is intended to cost $20 million. It is also going to be representing an investment of $20 million. The tour concluded at Simerwa, a cement manufacturing company also operating within the industrial park. Moving ahead, some of the soldiers who once served in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Rwanda say that returning to the country 31 years later after the genocide against the Tutsi was halted is a way to honor the victims and reflect on the tragic events they witnessed in 1994. Their visit began at the Kigali Genocide Memorial in Gisozi, where they learned in detail how the genocide was planned and executed, as well as the role of the international community in failing to prevent it. They engaged with guides, asked questions, and explored the history through images and sound recordings. The veterans hailing from Ghana and Senegal are among the few who remained in Rwanda when other nations, including Belgium, withdrew their troops. For them, this return is both a moment of remembrance and an opportunity to share their testimonies of what they experienced.
By courtesy of Isoko and Aegis, we've had a very kind invitation to come back and see Rwanda as it is now compared to the past. And we were here many years ago, over 30 years ago, and we witnessed some of the events that took place, especially from April 94 to July 94, and they were horrific. And we didn't see all. We saw portions of what happened. But coming here, this memorial, we've seen quite a complete picture of what has happened. And I'm saying that we are honored to come and see this at first hand, and more importantly, the briefing we have had, and to have an in-depth value as to what happened during that period. And I am emotional and I'm lost for words as what I've seen. So it's a good thing that that incident has been recorded in history, that people can see, not just we the elderly, but people of future generations can come here and see this thing. We haven't gone much. This is just the beginning of our visit. And we know that there are other places we have to go to. And at the end of the day, we have a complete picture. In essence, we are honored, and on behalf of my team, we say that we thank everybody connected with this visit, from the presidency to the agencies that have organized it, and we are pleased that we are here for the period. Oh, it's unbelievable, because what I saw and what I see now and in the past, I think if I'm supposed to go somewhere, some of the places I used to know, I can't make it. Everything is changed. And it shows vision, it shows development, and it shows foresight for the government and the people of Rwanda, that you put the past behind and you are looking forward. And this is forward-looking, this is visionary. So I'm very impressed with what I've seen. And I know it's not only Kigali, but the rest of the country from what I've seen.
They expressed admiration for Rwanda's remarkable progress in rebuilding, noting advances in governance, the economy, and the overall well-being of its citizens. During the genocide against the Tutsi, MINUAR troops came from 26 countries, but those from Ghana and Senegal stood out for their extraordinary commitment to staying in Rwanda during its most difficult days. As part of their visit, the delegation will also tour other historic genocide-related sites, including Hotel de Mille Collines, Mahoro Stadium, Eto Kicukiro, Byumba, and Murindi. Now in Kibeho, on the holy ground, people from Rwanda and abroad continue to arrive to celebrate the Feast of the Assumption, held every year on the 15th of August. Last night, around 50,000 people, including foreigners, were already present. The leadership of Nyaruguru district and the Catholic Church say they are prepared to receive everyone coming to Kibeho. As the hours pass, the number of people arriving in Kibeho to celebrate the Feast of the Virgin Mary Assumption keeps increasing. At the Kibeho entrance gates, security personnel first search the visitors. Before the actual day, which will be tomorrow on the 15th of August, some people had already arrived on Tuesday. Many of those who arrived earlier are foreigners, mostly from neighboring countries such as Uganda, Tanzania, and the DRC, while others are still on their way. Those who have arrived are engaged in different activities. Some are praying, others walking around various parts of Kibeho, while others go to fetch water from the Virgin Mary's spring located in the valley. For many, this is not their first time coming to Kibeho. They say taking this journey, which for some takes several days and costs time and money, is motivated by their belief that they asked the Virgin Mary to help them with pressing problems, and she answered them. Others come to present their requests to her.
I came to seek for Mother Mary's intercession. She has been always interceding for me, so I wanted also to visit this place for seek more intercession from her. Rwanda is good. It's a nice country. The roads are good. The place is good. The hygiene is so good. Yeah, I really appreciate the hospitality. They really welcomed us very well.
On the Feast of the Assumption, a large crowd of people is expected in Kibeho. According to figures from Nyaruguru district, about 50,000 people have already arrived, and on the Assumption Day itself, the number is expected to reach about 100,000. The mayor of Nyaruguru district, Dr. Emmanuel Murwanashyaka, says they are ready to provide for the needs of all these visitors. On the side of the Catholic Church, Father Francisco Harerimana, one of the leaders of the Virgin Mary's Shrine, confirms they too are ready to welcome these Christians and help quench their thirst for what they came seeking at Kibeho. Catholics worldwide celebrate the Feast of the Assumption of the Virgin Mary on the 15th of August. In Rwanda, it is attended by large crowds at Kibeho, recognized as holy ground because in 1981, the Virgin Mary appeared to 3 schoolgirls studying there. The Catholic Church approved these apparitions in 2001. The Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources has reached a shared understanding with agri-exporters about opportunities and barriers in the agricultural export sector. This was during a high-level meeting with key stakeholders for dialogue and strategic collaboration. William Evans Mutabazi has the report.
Agri-export entrepreneurs, representatives of financial institutions, agri-insurers, and decision-makers from various government bodies, including the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, are among those who participated in the high-level meeting with Rwanda agri-exporters representatives. These convened to discuss, among other things, key challenges hindering competitiveness, market access, value addition, while also assessing current opportunities and emerging trends in Rwanda's agriculture export market, and discuss strategies for aligning with policy frameworks and financing mechanisms.
This meeting is very helpful because in general, we have issues. So we came here to talk about issues that we've been having, the industry is having, which is, first of all, access to finance. There is a problem with production because, our country is quite limited in land space. Quality when it comes to certifying our products because, most of it's food, so it has to have good standards and certifications.
Everything we use for packing and cargo flights are expensive. Another thing sometimes is really hard buying from farmers because they demand immediate payment. This sometimes makes you miss out on your orders because you don't have full amount to pay there and then. The solution, which is cultivating the chili or these other products ourselves, is also expensive and requires land that is close to a water source, but such land is also not easily found.
Beyond concerns, the discussions also involved combining efforts in finding lasting solutions to some of the challenges.
If the loan is approved, put the money on the loan account, but don't let me withdraw the money. Then if I ask the money to buy seeds to pay Rwanda, if you're an exporter, then I'll bring invoices, and I can only do transfers to pay those seeds to pay Rwanda, because I can only have an airway bill from Rwanda if I have a cargo at the airport.
The Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Dr. Mark Hirobagabe, affirmed that the meeting was a good platform and would provide lasting solutions to some of the challenges.
On the side of the agri-exporters, we had tea exporters, we had coffee exporters, but then we had honey and we had horticulture. Horticulture is very broad. It has avocado, it has French beans, it has chilies. And so one common denominator of horticulture, and then of course flowers, one common denominator, they are perishables. You cannot keep them for a long time. So the issues that are being raised are the issues of road infrastructure. Those are being addressed. So they mentioned the issues of logistics, and I think that's what the main issue. And so I have just said that the government is very aware that this issue of cargo is going to be addressed. Discussion ongoing. Rwanda is going to arrange for that. Then, of course, the other issues that they face, the issues of road infrastructure, the issues of cold chain. As we said, it's a very sensitive value chain, and therefore we are ensuring that we have got the right infrastructure to ensure that their produce is not damaged. Then the other issue that I think we raised that concerns the exporters is compliance with export market standards and statutory and regulatory requirements. So what that means is that they have to work with the regulators so that their fields are inspected, they are registered, they are monitored, they are advised, so that they don't really face the issues of rejections when they export. And so this forum I consider to be a successful forum because it raised a number of issues for us. It's a homework which we're going to sit together with the government, we look for solutions, and then of course we come back to our partners.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture's annual report for year 2023-2024, overall agriculture exports amounted to $839.2 million, with tea bringing in $114.88 million, $78.71 million for coffee, while horticulture contributed $75.12 million. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Williams, for that report. Now, people with various disabilities report that a lack of information on sexual and reproductive health is among the main causes of sexual and gender-based violence against them. The Rwanda Biomedical Center indicates that every health center provides these services, but service providers face challenges communicating with people who have hearing and speech impairments due to the lack of sign language skills. Sexual and gender-based violence is one of the issues affecting people with different disabilities, especially those with intellectual disabilities, speech impairments, and visual impairments. A major concern is that many lack ways to report abuse, while others cannot identify their abuses.
The challenges we meet with when we reach out to the girls or the teen mothers with disabilities, especially in their families, we see that those girls or those teen mothers with disabilities don't have information on SRHR, sexual reproductive health, and they don't access to the health services in the hospitals or in the youth corners. That's the first challenge, and the second, they are discriminated from the families, from the society, and that hence them to not to have information on SRH.
The chairperson of the National Union of Disability Organizations in Rwanda, Dr. Beth Nasiporo Mukarwego, says that people with disabilities not having access to sexual and reproductive health services has consequences, including increased vulnerability to abuse.
We have a meeting on sexual reproductive rights because we believe that persons with disabilities are not aware of what is around them. They are not aware of how they can access these services because sometimes they do not even know the persons who rape them. So people like taking advantages over persons with different disabilities. For example, those with psychosocial because they may not be able to explain who did it. Maybe if they want to to report to their parents, or even they do not know where to go and report. Some of them do not even know where RIBs are, where they can go to report cases of rapes or mistreatment or harassment by either people that they do not know or people in the family. But Isange One Stop Center is where people report cases. But these places are not accessible to persons with disabilities. I do believe that even people with disabilities, most of them do not know whether they exist, do not know where they are. When those who are lucky to maybe know where they are, when they go, services are not inclusive. People who are there are not able to communicate with those with hearing impairment. They are not able maybe to guide even a person with visual impairment to access their services. So what I am recommending is that they should make them more accessible so that anybody can feel welcome in the Isange One Stop Center, and maybe people who are working in these centers should be trained in sign language so that they can be able to communicate with persons with hearing impairment.
The head of the Maternal and Child Health Division at RBC, Dr. Francois Regis Chiza, has noted that while all health centers have sexual and reproductive health services, providers still struggle due to the absence of sign language communication skills. Statistics from the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion for last year show that 22,454 teenage girls became pregnant compared to 22,055 the previous year. In this week's episode of Password, Enora Gladys hosted a Chadian content creator and business strategist currently living in Rwanda. She shared her journey, the lessons learned from the way, and a piece of advice to inspire young people to turn their ideas into reality. Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to another inspiring episode of The Culture Plus, where we get a chance to explore and dive into the lives of young people living in Rwanda from other countries. Rwanda is a country that gives opportunities to young Rwandese, but also gives space, life, and also opportunities as well to other people, other young people living in Rwanda. And that's why
I've been here since end 2021, so almost 2022. So I think I've been here for a little bit more than 3 years.
Yes.
It's been doing great. I came initially as a student. I finished my studies, and I've been working for a while, started a business. It's a whole journey.
Interesting. So now from a student to a business strategist and also to a content creator, because more of the people know you as a content creator. I've been seeing you some videos going around, you know, and I would like to know, what purpose made you come here in Rwanda to study in the first place?
So first of all, I'm coming from Chad, so we speak Arabic and French as our official languages. And since I was young, I always had like global dreams.
Yeah.
So internationally, English is kind of the dominant language, at least for now. So it was always my ambition that like I wanted to study in English or like get a higher quality of education in English. And when I did my research, Rwanda popped up, and I was so glad. Honestly, I have to take this opportunity to thank the government here, because I like to travel a lot, and I would always worry about papers like visas and stuff. And as a Chadian, I didn't require a visa to enter Rwanda, but I had to do it after 3 months. So I had 90 days to do a visa.
Yes, I would like to know in the first place, how did you become a business strategist?
Honestly, all thanks to Rwanda. So when I first came, I was already doing some videos online, but I didn't really take it seriously. But when I came here, I realized that no, actually, like I just started to share my experience as a student. I was studying at ULK, and I would interview my classmates, and I would ask them questions that I felt like they were interesting to us as youth. And then suddenly these videos started to go viral, at least on national level here, and people resonated a lot and they wanted more. So as I kept doing that, then just like random opportunities would come, like, oh, by the way, I have a restaurant. How about you share a video about my restaurant? Come over. At first, it was more like free stuff of like, okay, come eat for free, bring your friend, whatever. Or like have this product, like a basket of products for free.
Yes.
And then later, it started to get into paid opportunities. And then I was like, oh, by the way, why don't I just turn it into a business? Like have a full set and bring like young people that are talented as well in different aspects. So editors, us as youth do something for us.
Sure. Since my technical team is still working on getting the video back, I would like now to have your experience. What made you love Rwanda to the extent that you started doing the videos? I also saw the one that you did about the historical of Rwanda and everything.
Yeah.
What pushed you to do so?
I always say it, like Rwanda is a country that doesn't care about your gender, it doesn't care about your background, it only prioritizes your talent. And I always wanted an environment like that, because I don't want somebody to take an opportunity that I deserve away just because I'm a woman, or just because like I'm Chadian, or just because, and Rwanda is a country that doesn't look, at least I have never experienced a time where I was discriminated just because I wasn't from here. I never felt like that at all. Exactly. So I think this is what we need as youth, and we need in most of our African countries, where we put talent forward, rather than like the other stuff that doesn't lead us anywhere, honestly.
Yes. And out of curiosity, I would like to know, Chadian is a country of the French and Arabic speaking people.
Yeah.
Where did you get all of this English that I'm hearing right now? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I thought myself, actually, this is really funny. As I told you, like everything started from my dream of like one day doing something big in the world. I've always been inspired by people like Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, like, you know, those global people. I mean, we're still very far. But I don't know, I was always just curious about English. So I started to watch movies. When we would watch movies at home, there'd be like Arabic or French subtitles, but the movies are in English. So nobody picked up English in my household apart from me. They were like, we've been watching these movies together. We didn't learn English. I was like, you didn't have the intention. I wanted to learn it.
Yes.
So it was always like kind of an internal goal. And suddenly I just started to talk.
Yeah, I do believe that even some people would really learn from you to learn the language just through a movie, maybe with those subtitles.
Yes, even songs.
And I would like to know, do you still plan to, you know, be in Rwanda for this whole time, or you maybe have some time to go back and, you know, forget Rwanda?
Yeah, I mean, no. First of all, that will never happen. Forgetting Rwanda is not on the list. This is so interesting because actually I'm going to be flying out next week. I'm going to go to France, but just because I want to do a short study period. I want to do my master's, but I think because I'm also working on another project that would going to have me have to come back to Rwanda every few months. And I'm so happy about this. Like, I had to make sure that if I leave, I would still be connected to the country in a way.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, and have you already completed your studies?
I mean, yeah, I did my bachelor's here at ULK, Carolina Independent University.
Yes.
And now I'm planning to go do my master's.
Oh, so you already, you know, pushed back just after completing your studies, you already have some other time to be here.
Yes.
That's one thing very interesting indeed.
Yeah, I had to. I couldn't just leave.
Okay, and I would like to know, are you an event planner? Because calling you was like, hi, actually I'm planning for a
So somehow, somewhere, because I'm also a business strategist to like a couple businesses, and I've always loved coffee. As you can see here, I was like, RBA, I need coffee. So, and Rwanda is known for its good quality coffee as well. So I wanted to do a brunch that's going to be themed around the idea of coffee, beige colors, coffee colors, and all of that. And
okay, sure, interesting. Tell me, how did you get this idea I would like to know, you're now a business strategist, you're now a content creator. I mean, how do you put them together, and also your studies in the same time when you're still studying?
That's actually a really good question, because a lot of people wonder, and it's really just like, I would say, if you're young, because we're addressing the youth mostly. If you're young, don't limit yourself. Like, you never know what opportunity is going to come up, and most of the things are connected. Like, for example, things like economics. Economics, because my degree is in economics. Economics could be linked to everything. Like, every single job needs economists. The same way, if you're doing marketing, every business needs marketing. If you're doing communication, so always don't limit yourself to like, okay, if I'm an event planner, the only thing I'm going to do in my life is just planning events. That's not true, because event planners could do many other things the same way. So I think I've always kept this flexibility going on. If something comes up and I feel like I could do it, if the opportunity comes, that means people are seeing that you could do it as well. So that's already something that's like a promising. So just challenge yourself, do it, and you will learn a lot.
Wow, awesome. Our show is named Password, even though this segment is under the name of Culture Plus. And Password, normally we are trying to emphasize about a piece of advice, or maybe something that you went through in your journey to become the Madiha we are seeing here, a business strategist, and also a content creator, a student, everything. What is a piece of advice that you'd like to give?
I'd always say, when you enter a room and there is no chair, don't leave just because you don't see a chair. Build a chair, put it in that room, and sit. Meaning, if you feel like nobody before me did something, or this is not possible, they don't do it here, don't say, okay, that means I'm out, I have to look for something else. No. If you believe in the vision that you have, and if you believe in your abilities, make it happen.
Yes. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
That was Madiha Mahamat sharing her own insights, and also we was also diving into her own life here in Rwanda, her experience. Very interesting. If you want it, make it happen.
Every journey has a beginning. From nature comes refreshing fruity goodness that keeps you going every day. With every pack complementing life's best moments. Not one, not two, but 5 different fruity flavors. And this journey keeps giving. Introducing Inyange's new fruity juice flavors, guava and cocktail. Now available at your nearest shop. Always ask for Inyange.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo agira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe, ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njye muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byaragiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
Welcome back to RTV News, and as we dive into the international scene, Sudan was plunged into a civil war in April 2023 after a vicious power struggle erupted between the army and its former ally, the Rapid Support Forces, creating one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. The World Food Programme has said that it has not been able to deliver food to the city of El Fasher in the western Darfur region by road for more than a year now. Parliamentary fighters from the RSF have surrounded it for nearly 16 months, determined to seize it from Sudan's army. Local activists have already begun reporting deaths by starvation in the city, which is still home to about 300,000 people. BBC News with more.
A rare glimpse of people living under siege. Here, your best hope is simply to suppress the hunger. This meal, if you can call it that, is porridge made from animal feed. No aid is getting through. This footage sent to us from Al Fasher, a front line in Sudan's civil war, and a death trap for those inside.
We don't know what to do. We can't find food. Please have mercy on us. Our suffering is worse than you can imagine. Help us in any way possible, especially the children. They are innocent in all this, and they are dying before our eyes.
Hospitals can't cope with the widespread malnutrition. A doctor sent us this voice message.
The situation, it is so miserable, it's so catastrophic. The children of Al Fasher are dying on daily basis due to lack of food, lack of medicine.
This week, the battle intensified. The paramilitary rapid support forces surrounding the city launched a major attack. They published this video claiming to have advanced. In social media posts, the army and its allies insist they repelled the assault and inflicted heavy losses. But civilians caught in the middle are fighting for survival. Many of those who've managed to flee have ended up in these camps, some 40 miles from Al Fasher. Life is a bit safer here, but now disease. Most deadly of all, cholera, caused by polluted water. It's killed hundreds in Sudan.
We are doing our best to manage the sick cases, but the outbreak needs to be contained at the source within the camp where almost all of the cases are coming from. The main issue is the lack of water and sanitation facilities.
Zubaydah arrived from Al Fasher a few days ago. She is 7 months pregnant.
We drink water without boiling it. We have no one to get us water because my husband was captured on the road to Al Fasher and my daughter has a head injury.
The UN is appealing for a humanitarian truce, but the enormous costs of this unending war continue to be paid by the weakest. Barbara Platt-Usher, BBC News, Nairobi.
Heading over to matters regarding the USA and Russia, the US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet in Alaska on Friday to discuss ending the Ukraine war. BBC News prepared for following analysis on the significance of that meeting.
The Alaska summit, Donald Trump's first face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin for 6 years, is a big moment, but it's also one fraught with risk. Let's look at who controls what in Ukraine and what might be at stake in any peace agreement. We need to go back to 2014 to see Vladimir Putin's first move, the occupation and annexation of Crimea. That was followed by a Moscow-backed separatist movement in the area known as the Donbass, specifically the two regions or oblasts known as Donetsk and Luhansk. A war simmered there for 8 years. But in February 2022, Putin launched his full-scale invasion. Russian troops reached the outskirts of Kiev and seized huge swathes of the south, including big chunks of 2 more oblasts, Zaporizhia and Kherson. The war has ebbed and flowed ever since. Russia now controls around 20% of Ukraine. In the east, Russian forces are advancing, but very slowly and at great cost. President Zelensky says that what's needed now is an unconditional ceasefire. But in the run-up to his Alaska summit with Putin, President Trump has started talking instead about territorial swaps, causing shockwaves in Kyiv and across Europe. But what could these swaps mean, given that all the territory in question legally belongs to Ukraine? Let's look at the Donbass. Some reports suggest that Mr. Putin is demanding that Ukraine hand over the remaining territory it controls in both oblasts. But that would mean Kyiv giving up on places which tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have died trying to protect. For Kyiv, such a concession would represent a bitter pill. Ukraine's leader, President Zelensky, says Ukraine will not leave the Donbass. What about Zaporizhia and Kherson? Here, it's reported Russia is offering to halt its offensive and freeze the lines. But would Moscow be prepared to give any of it back? It seems unlikely. This is all part of Vladimir Putin's strategically vital land bridge connecting Russia to occupied Crimea. Putin regards all these places as part of Russia. For Ukraine and Europe, territorial swaps at this very early stage are a non-starter. A discussion about future borders may eventually come, but only when the war has stopped and Ukraine's future security has been guaranteed.
And that BBC story and analysis marks the end of our bulletin. But before we close off, let's have a recap of our headlines. Prime Minister Dr. Justin Nsengiyumva has urged the youth who took part in the 15th cohort of Itorero in Dangamirwa to be a solid foundation for Rwanda's future vision. Now, some of the soldiers who once served in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Rwanda say that returning to the country 31 years after the genocide against the Tutsi was halted is a way to honor the victims and reflect on the tragic events they witnessed in 1994. And on the international scale, Sudan was plunged into a civil war in April 2023 after a vicious power struggle erupted between the army and its former ally, the Rapid Support Forces. And on that note, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. But before we close up, we'd like to thank you for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera, and until next time, stay safe and have a good night.